To deal with the zombie crisis, the government set up shelters, but survivors could only reach them by subway. At the time, a large crowd of survivors packed the platform, all trying to take the subway to the safe zone. As the train drew closer, people at the back started pushing forward. Those in the front were crushed against the glass doors, which finally shattered. The people up front were pushed off the platform, and when the train arrived, they were crushed on the tracks and killed instantly. The crowd kept trying to squeeze into the train. A kind stranger helped a woman get into the last available spot, but when she saw the helpless faces of an elderly lady and a child, she finally stepped off the train and gave her chance of survival to the kid. The grandmother thought she'd done all she could by getting her grandson on the train, but then the woman's expression suddenly changed. The last few train cars were filled with zombies, and her grandson was about to be bitten. The grandmother broke down. She pulled out a knife, jumped onto the tracks, and ran wildly toward the speeding train. The woman froze in fear, but she couldn't let the grandmother die alone, so she jumped onto the tracks too. She meant to stop the old lady and pull her away, but a loud rumble suddenly came from behind. She turned around and saw another train was already approaching. Luckily, the subway stopped just in time. At that moment, the old woman fell onto the tracks. The woman rushed over to help her up, and they both sprinted into the safety zone beside the tunnel. They pressed tightly against the wall, not daring to move. Then the woman noticed bite marks on the old lady's leg. She instantly sensed something was wrong. Just then, the subway started moving again. The woman tried to pry the old lady's hand off her clothes to escape, but she couldn't break free. She had no choice but to stay pressed against the wall. When she looked into the train, she was horrified. The cars were full of zombies tearing people apart. Her hands shook with fear. Moments later, the grandmother turned into a zombie and attacked her. The woman used all her strength to defend herself. The speeding train blocked her only escape route, so she had no choice but to fight. In the last second, she pushed the zombie against the side of the train. The fast-moving train scraped the zombie's head, and soon the head was crushed as the train rushed past. The woman survived. She then went to the equipment room and found a chainsaw, planning to use it to protect herself and escape the subway station. But as soon as she stepped out, she ran into a zombie. Luckily, she raised the chainsaw just in time and cut off its head, but the loud noise drew a large horde of zombies. The woman had to run for her life.